Hey there, Seahawks. It's Miss Adams, and in this video, we're going to talk about transforming a function. Okay, so a function, f of x, could be written as a equals x minus b squared plus k. So if it's a squared function, then this would be all the different types of transformations. So the value that's in front of the parentheses tells us how tall it's going to be. So if it's going to be really tall, it's going to get stretched and be real skinny. Okay, if it's going to be kind of short, it's going to be shorter and wider. And then is it going to be right side up or upside down? So if it's negative, it has a negative in front of it, then you're going to be reflecting it over the x-axis, which means you're going to be turning it upside down. Inside of the parentheses, so this shifts with the x, and remember x goes side to side. So if it's inside the parentheses with your x value, then it tells you if it's going to shift right or left. But notice it has a minus in front of it. Okay, so it's always going to be the opposite when it's inside the parentheses. If it's telling you like +3, then you're moving to the left. And if it's telling you -3, then you're moving to the right. All right, and then k, your back piece in the end, is going to be your vertical shift up and down. Okay, so it's hanging off the end. That tells you if you're going to go up or down. If it's positive, you're going up. If it's negative, you're going down. All right. So the graph of f of x is shown below. On the right are graphs of transformations of f of x. Describe what happened in each graph. So the first one, the bigger one on the left side, is the parent function. On the right, these are 4 different types of transformations. So I took f of x and I added 2. So that +2 is hanging off the end. So that means it's a vertical shift, either up or down. +2 means that I shifted it up 2 units. F of x minus 1 would be a vertical shift down 1 unit. The other two, it's x plus or minus something inside the parentheses. So x plus 2, when you see a plus inside the parentheses, that means you move to the left. So this one was shifted left 2 units. And when you see a minus inside the parentheses, then this one was shifted to the right 1 unit. All right, the table below shows the value for the function f of x. Complete the table for -1/2 f of x. So I'm going to take my x value. So the x value, my first one is -2. And I'm going to figure out what f of x is at -2. So I'm looking at -2 when x is -2, f of x is 4. Well, now I'm going to do -1/2 of 4. -1/2 times 4 would give me -2. Now I'm going to do that exact same thing with -1. So when x is -1, f of x is 2. So I'm going to do -1/2 of 2. Half of 2 is 1, and it's negative, so -1. Now I'm going to look at 0. Well, when x is 0, f of x is 0. -1/2 times 0 is 0. And then when x is 1. When x is 1, f of x is 2. -1/2 of 2 is -1. Then when x is 2, f of x is 4, and -1/2 of 4 is -2. All right, let g of x equal f of x plus 3 minus 2. Graph g of x on the plane with f of x. So I already have f of x graphed, and I'm taking my f of x function and I'm shifting it left 3 units because there was a +3 inside the parentheses, and down 2 units because hanging off the end is a -2. So I'm going to pick some points that are nice points on my f of x function, and then I'm going to transform them. So I'm going to go left 3, down 2. So there's my new vertex, that point where it changes from increasing to decreasing. And then I'm going to move the other points. I'm going to shift them left 3, down 2. So now I have these 3 points, and I can use those as a guide to draw my g of x. Okay, so that's g of x, and I labeled it. All right, that's it.